All right there, mon hombres. So again, sorry about the quality. If you're new to this channel, I've recently moved to Asia and I haven't got my microphone and my camera. I've got a new laptop, so it's a bit. Well, I hope that cleared it up. It's a bit. Ooh, I'll tell you what that reminds me of. Up on the Bangla Road here, which is the main nightlife. You know, this is a sex tourist destination. You can imagine the main nightlife. Like a couple of my friends who I met here went to the ping pong show last night, which ended up with people just fucking on stage and a woman pulling a budgerigar out of her fan noir. Yeah, so you go up there and there's people, probably about 50 of them with these sort of cardboard signs with ping pong show on them. They're all trying to get you in. They're virtually almost actually hit you on the face with them, especially if you're in a group. Luckily, I'm a mateless bastard, so I don't get so much hassle. But the new thing I've noticed this year is when they hold up the ping pong sign, they'll be going. Yeah. Must work though. They're always packed. Turns out I've cracked 2 ribs. Yeah, I've cracked 2 ribs, which is nice. And I had a few drinks last night, and obviously moving around as if I didn't have 2 cracked ribs, and sleeping as if I didn't have two. I mean, I can only comfortably sleep on one side unless I've had a skinful, and then I will just star shape, no problem. Oh, and I woke up this morning in agony, and I was hit on one side, so my legs fucked as well. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and I've got that limp, and it's kind of de rigueur to have that limp in a man of my age in Patong. It's kind of an authentic sex pest shuffle. So yeah, we are ticking all the boxes. But what was I going to say? Something else about that? Oh fuck it! You know how this works by now. Anyway, for some reason I can't remember the chain of thoughts that led me to it, but I started thinking about how much I used to enjoy the arcade. And I know I've spoken about this before, but I just seemed motivated to share this with you because I know a lot of my viewers are around the same sort of similar age to me, and you remember the arcade? What an amazing place it was. I mean, this is mine when I was in the arcade. You're looking about 1985. You know, it smelt of tobacco and beer and school kids. Not an ideal mixture. And it was dark and it was dirty, like a nightclub really. If it was lit, it would just be filthy. So it was dark enough to appear at least somewhere you could spend an hour in without getting septicemia or something. And me and my one friend in particular, a very good friend of mine, we used to bunk school to go down the arcade. We absolutely loved it. And one of the things that kind of gets my goat, and it really shouldn't, and it's a small resentment. It isn't. It isn't a Nietzschean resentment. It's a small thing. Is that nowadays you can just keep throwing money into games, and you kind of could then. You could put 10p and get an extra life or whatever, but we didn't have the money for that, so you got good at games. It's bad for business because I mean good. Now I was no expert. I was like a jack of all trades. I was quite better than most at the games I selected. Whereas my friend Mark and my friend Matt, they were the experts. Like they could do R-Type all the way round and then start again on 10 pence, on 10p. I mean, when you're only getting £1 a week pocket money, and whatever you could make from car washing, or see my other video about how I used to make money as a kid. To get sort of 20 minutes gameplay out of 10p was amazing. Now, one thing I was skilled at that neither Mark nor Matt could do was a thing that in the 80s was known as flicking 2p's. Yeah, catchy title. And what you could do, I've got to stop saying basically. I don't know where I've got that from. I think it's like a performance nerves. I'm just a bloke sitting in a room. There's no one else here. It's strange. As a comic, I was used to audiences. But when people say to me, I ask someone a question, they go, well, basically. And I'm like, mate, I asked you where you got your bottle of water from. There is not a complex version of this story. You don't have to stipulate this is the basic, regardless. But flicking 2p's was booze, cigarettes, school kids, and that. I mean, if this gets demonetized, I'll appreciate it. I'll understand it. But flicking 2p's was you'd get a 2 pence. This is a 5 baht, but it's actually flexible. Oh, the old magic trick still coming in. Look at that, it's made of rubber. But you'd get that. Dun 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 do 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 do. you'd get this, and you'd hold it between your two fingers like that, and you'd put it up the coin where the coins had come out. If you put a 10p in and it didn't register and didn't go down into the money bank, it would just come out the coin reject. Do you know what I mean? Put it in clunk, put it in clunk. But if you put a 2p up the coin reject, and now this was a trick, you had to go back on yourself and then like flick it up one of the slots, and there was about 5 of them. So you had to essentially you were trying to find the G spot of the arcade machine. Now, what that would do if you got it up the right slot, if you avoided the clitoris and got straight to the G ram, we'll talk about grams again later. It would register as a 50p, which would be 3 credits, 60 pence worth for a 2p. Now, not only did that mean we could get to play, not all games would, it wouldn't work on all games, but it would work on most. But also, I worked out you could do it for the older kids. They'd give you like 20p if you could flick one coin, because they'd get, you can understand the math. So that was quite cool. And another thing, because we were kids, arcade machines were huge boxes with all the graphics on them. Not great, not amazing graphics. Not like these days. You go into these fucking arcades and it's just like a mesmerizing light show. But in them days, it was, paint, drawings, pastels. But we didn't realise then that the actual computer element, the processor, was probably just a little box inside this huge cabinet. I used to sort of associate these big machines with, just incredible process. I didn't know it's processing power, but you know what I mean? The machine, the shape of it, the feel of it, standing in front of it, getting your position right, all the little mad nervous ticks that you do in between, And I had one mate who used to just keep pulling his steady on, and I was mad for him. But just standing that feeling and getting that 2p up or putting a 10p in, and it go bloom, registering it, bang, one player. And then you'd go boosh, and whatever the game was, the familiarity, this music that you'd hear, and it was everything. When you're meant to be doing double history with a history teacher that threatened to kill me. Oh yeah, the Beastie Boys album came out, Licensed to Ill, with the aeroplane crash on the front, just like it was stubbed like a cigarette, a gatefold, and the VW sign was their thing. And so, of course, we went round just pinging them off the front of cars. And I remember I got a brilliant one off of the woodwork teacher, Mr. Jarrett's brand new VW. Oh, a shit did not give. I hated school and I hated teachers. I love the kids, though. Oh, I love the kids. This ain't going well, is it? Smoke, cigarettes, up the G-spot, love the kids, pull the VW. But, bing. So I've got it, and I'm in history with this history teacher, and I've looked at my mate across the room who was into him as well, and I just got it out, so I went, and this particular teacher went, "Give me that." And I thought, oh, so I give it to him. And then at the end of the class, he went, "Okay, everyone leave, Dangerfield, stay behind." And I just thought it was going to be a normal telling off. And, he bullied me for years, this bloke. And at the end of the class, he came up to me, he went, "You're a little shit, you are." And I was like, oh, nice. And he said, "You know what?" He said, no, first of all, he said, "Where did you get this from?" And I went, "Well, no, that's right." He said, "I can't, fuck it, you know what, I can't remember, but at one point I said to him, he had a go at me and then told me to go, that's it. And then I went, "I'm having my VW sign," and he just slapped me, that's it. "I'm having my VW." He went, "You little shit." He went, "Next time, if you piss me off again," he went, "I'll forget my job, I'll forget about my family, and I'll kill you." Nice, I was 12. "I'll kill you." And I remember my bottom lips, I went, I didn't enter puberty until I was 16. At 12, I was about 5, really. And being threatened with your life is terrifying. And then he went, "Oh, I suppose you're going to get your mum up to school now, are you?" And I went, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I am." And he went, "Where did you get this from?" And I said, "Well, this is it." I said, "My dad got it from me from the breaker's yard, Eastwards." Oh, and he didn't like it. And I just picked it up and left with it. And you know what? When I got caught bunking school, my mum walked in the arcade. I was in there once. I was actually on a fruit machine, the old 2p fruit machines. Master Spy, it was called. nudge, 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 a jackpot of £1.50. But you could get that out of a 20p investment. Oh, you were minted for the weekend. Oh, you would be playing Nemesis. And I was playing that, and my mate Mark was walking towards me as if to just sort of, watch what I was doing. And he just turned round. I saw his face look terrified. He turned around and walked off. And I thought, fuck. And I've looked round to see who it was going to kick the shit out of us. And it was my mum. Walked in the arcade. I just sort of went. She took me back to school, and it turned out that I'd bunked 20 out of 24 history lessons. Oh, they made a deal. Yeah, because I brought up the "I'm going to kill you" line, and they were like, "Well, if you don't make too much of a fuss about that, we won't make too much of a fuss about this." Oh, nice. Nice plea bargain. Imagine these days, I'll fucking kill you. But the arcade, what a place, loved it. All day Saturday would be in there, and like I said, get very good at it. And you'd have a crowd of people around you, when you were getting to a new level, or you would just be in, and that trance that you'd be in, the speed of the thinking, and there'd be like the little bombs and the missiles and the enemy ships, and you'd see these kids just like almost autistic engagement, proper Aspie kind of just tuned into a finer transmission. Just incredible. And a crowd around you all just gasping. And when you finally got there and you got to the mothership and you took it. Amazing, amazing times. And, I have absolutely loved the arcade. And of course, one of the strange things when I first got a PC, a semi-decent PC, one of the first things I did was get a Z80 emulator so I could play my old Spectrum games, my old 16K ZX Spectrum, 48K got an upgrade. Oh yeah, after a while, 1982 Sinclair Research Limited. But it weren't long after that I got MAME, which is I didn't get maimed. I got MAME, which is an arcade machine emulator, so I could play Slap Fight, R-Type, Nemesis, Terra Cresta, Gauntlet, all these amazing games. I was actually pretty good at Gauntlet. Gauntlet was incredible, and you talk about these machines, and it was a 4-player game. Gauntlet, you could be a wizard, a ranger, or something. A sort of a Valkyrie, or I can't remember, but it had this amazing vocal. You'd sort of start, and it would sort of give you instructions for the early things. Every time you'd done something for the first time, it would tell you. So you'd there'd be 4. You could play it, one of you, and again, mateless, I often did, but there'd be 4 of you there, and then you'd sort of hit a key. You'd walk over a key, and it would go. Bloop, save keys to open doors. You'd be like, whoa. And then you go down, and when your energy was running out, it would go, Valkyrie is about to die. And when you died, it went, boom. Brilliant, man. And I can remember when you actually died in Gauntlet, it would go boo doo 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 dum dum doo 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 dum dum dum. Oh, these sounds, and they still hold an amazing amount of nostalgia for me and emotional energy. The darkness of the arcade, going in there at like 10 o'clock in the morning while the cleaners were still sort of mopping up the adolescent sweat. Oh, this ain't sounding good, is it? And then leaving at 8 in the evening, and you seeing no sunlight. A beautiful summer's day in the summer holidays, and you'd be in there and you're out, and you'd miss the whole day just going save keys to open doors. Incredible though. You'd get 5-6 hours out of like a quid, a pound. Oh, there was one game down there. I went down there one day and there was a game called Darius, and it was on 3 monitors. Oh, there had been nothing like this. 3 monitors sort of next to each other, and obviously when you went off one, you came straight on the next one. And I was just gobsmacked, and I had a go, and it was excellent. It was a shoot 'em up, a horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up. And they were what I was into. I was into vertical shoot 'em ups. Ones where you could power up, you'd get a little bloop, 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 or whatever, and get ching, ching, and you'd build up your ship. They were the ones I was into. Your Terra Cresta, your Nemesis, your Dangar, all those sort of things. And Darius, of course. And I remember getting to school the next day and seeing Matt and Mark and Jagtar, our friend Jagtar, and saying, whoa, listen, listen, listen. And I remember the seriousness. I can remember their faces just like, I said, listen, I was in the arcade last night. It's called the Trading Post, the one in Dartford. It was originally called the Jumbarama, one of these mad, insane places you'd never get today. In the 80s, upstairs, they'd sell you like fireworks, ninja stars. There was a pool, few snooker tables, some snakes, lizards. A really odd little place. A man selling madness badges. And downstairs in Jumbarama, a few sort of skanky clothes shops where you could buy slutty Dartford girls' outfits. Oh, I wonder where all that came from. And the arcade. And then it became the Trading Post, but people still called it Jumbers or Jumbarama. And then when it became the Trading Post, it became Traders. You're going down Traders. Oh, I'm going down Traders. And I remember the mod revival in about '83 when, like, what was it, Public Affair and all that. This is the time for action. And I had my parker that went dragged along the ground and my little boating blazer. Oh, and they, all the mods hung around in it. I think because in Quadrophenia they hung around in an arcade, or they played the pinball because of I'm a pinball wizard. So there might have been some sort of weird link there. And I can remember them all sitting there, their mod jackets, and the girls, the modette girls in 1982. What a time for a revival. With their sort of Mary Quant bobs and their little dogtooth miniskirts. I remember one of them giving me a love bite once. I just sat there, 12 years old, being sexually abused, and it was amazing. But having to try and hide it from my mum for weeks and failing, and her finding it and me feeling a little bit dirty. But very aroused by that girl. What was her name? Donna Harris. Oh God, Donna Harris. Look for her on Facebook when I was still on Facebook, of course. Anyway, so I recently had a look on YouTube, and I'm going to share with you some of these old videos. Now, again, I've got one monitor. Don't really know how to do all this. Let's see. Hey, great start. Okay, so that's the later part of the story. So here we go. Check it out. This is Dangar. Now that in Dangar, this man, so you probably can't tell, but this is like a robot sort of with his arms out in front of him and a gun. But if you were running into a bit of trouble, bang, you hit a button and it's split up like an early Transformer, a robot in disguise. And hopefully I've got the edit right so you can see it do that. Here we go. But I'm telling you now, and if you were there and if you've done this, you'll know what this music does to you. This is like listening to an old song for me. Nice um, Ram Life Kids. So let's see it change. Whoa! Now, I forgot that. That's actually a partial change. I forgot you had all these variations, but let's see if we can see it split into a 3. Amazing. Take me back, Lord. This is risking indulgence now on my part. Oh, look at that. Another variation. Gone for that, for the duo out front. And as I say that, I can remember at the time we'd actually come up with silly little names for these things that via repetition would end up being called them. You'd sort of, oh, quick change to rabbit eyes. And we'd know what that was. This is Nemesis. I was excellent at Nemesis, and a favourite of mine musically. Here we go. I think he's just about to take on the big boss. The power-ups are the little gold things. You'd have had to have collected them, the little balls that are following it. Golden balls. I mean, Holy Mother of Mary, just that noise is just, it's tearing me apart. And I can hear the build-up of the music is just about to kick into the Mothership extended remix. That's it. Woo. Oh, he has the technique. Amazing. It's almost like Philip Glass, a bit of Steve Reich, isn't it? Like 1960s New York minimalism. Awesome. There you go, man. Incredible. So that's Nemesis. Another one I found. This is Gauntlet. This is the one I was telling you about, the 4-player adventure one with the cool voices.
Welcome Treasure 100 points. Save keys to open doors.
Now, I'm aware of how shit that appears to you, but back in the day, this was something else, you know, and the lack of graphic ability, the lack of processing power, essentially, was what made the playability have to be superb. And they really were. I felt really let down when someone lent me a Sega Mega Drive. I don't know, one of those things about 15 years ago, and I was really excited. There was a stack of about 20 games. And I put the first one in, and it was a first-person sort of shooter where you walk through shooting people. Got a bit bored with that. Put the second one on, first-person shooter. Put the next one on. Yeah, you know where this is going. All identical. Whereas these, they had to try. Let's watch a bit more of Gauntlet. I just want to hear another voice. It's coming. That beep, 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 beep. Come on. Oh, come on. Get the gold. Oh, Robin Hood, you're letting us write down. You are witnessing my childhood disappearing in an 8-bit vortex. Now, what I want to explain I want to tell you something else. Let's go back here. Let's press that. Let's go like that. Let's go like that. Let's go like that. Oh, incredible tricks. See, all that early training with the arcade games has turned out the Codemaster you see today. Now, this is the reason I don't engage with these kind of games, because as I previously mentioned, I had the ZX Spectrum and the game Elite came out. And now Elite is a vector graphics game. Black screen, white lines. Not soft, solid filled in, just white shaped lines. I'm going to show you in a minute. And me and my friend Mark, the same Mark, would play this for the entire summer holidays. And in those days, your ZX Spectrum didn't have a screen, didn't have a monitor. You had to play it through your television. So my mother and father had to put up with it. Well, they didn't. When Antiques Roadshow come on, of course, we had to get off it and go upstairs and stick it in the black and white telly. Not a problem, because it's a black and white game. But this was our summer holidays, this space trading game with a little bit of shooting. And there's more shooting than trading. You buy drugs and alien items, or you can go legal, or you can be a pirate, all this sort of stuff. And I would just do the trading. Rarely would I engage in the combat. Mark used to do all that, but what a time. And the reason I don't play games these days is why I avoid them. I had a gaming PC back in London because I wanted it to learn about editing. Devon told me if I wanted to get involved in editing, get a gaming computer, because you'll get the kind of power you need. And if you watch some of my editing attempts, you'd realise I could probably knock it up on a calculator plugged into a potato. But I'm going to show you a bit of Elite. And believe, the thing with Elite, you could stop a game and you could save your position. And so next time you played it, you could start that game again. And individual games would go on for, hundreds, if not thousands of hours. Now bear that in mind when I show you what it looks like. Right, here we go again. A little bit of magic. Okay, press that. So check out Elite. I promise you, months, if not years of my life. That's the full sound. Now, that's the front pulse laser. Oh, missile. Got him. But there's still a missile coming. Look at that. Well, there you go. I don't know what it was. Something came over me, and I wanted to talk about arcade games. Strange the things that will come to mind when you're in a tropical paradise. Anyway, there you go. The arcade. I'd be really interested to know what you've done. Whether you experienced time in the arcades. What games? Oh, Elite still. The Thargoid invasion. They're coming for me. Oh, shush. I'd like. Can you just drop it out, please, for one moment? I'd quite like to know what games you played. Whether you played any of the ones I played. Your Darius, your Slap Fight, R-Type, Dangar, Terra Cresta. What's the other one? Shinobi. Remember the ninja one with the throwing stars on the sort of bonus bit and all that. Bunking school. Did you get hold of that sort of thing? Did any teachers threaten to kill you? Have you remembered to Patreon the fuck out of this channel? Because I'm fucking starving here, governor.